See, look at this shit right. Hell nah. Nope. See, a dog would have had me fucked up if I was a horse. I would have been the Muhammad Ali's of all horses. Talking about some float like a horsefly, sting like a bee. Get your flea jumping ass off me. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dog Father. I'm your dog coach, your lifestyle coach, kicking free game to all you new and inexperienced owners. A couple times where I've touched on recall. And the reason is because at one point in every dog's owner's life, if you haven't experienced it yet, you will have a scare in your life. A scare where your dog may run out the house on you and run into the street. A dog may chase after another cat. Or there'll just be a time where your dog just out of nowhere just leaves your side and chooses to chase after something that's unwanted, putting it in danger or causing danger. And if you own dogs like mine, your heart doesn't just race. You just go ahead and have a heart attack. You die and you come back alive whenever your dog runs off and leaves your sight. We all go through it. It's something that just comes with the territory of owning dogs, especially if you have high prey-driven dogs or AGMB dogs, all gas, no brakes. So recall is a very important command. Not only that, but anything to help enforce recall is your friend. And that is the e-collar. So what is an e-collar? Oftentimes people have this bad rep for having an e-collar, or this bad connotation on e-collars. E-collars are just like anything else, a basic tool. Nothing different than a leash and a collar, nothing different than a harness, nothing different than a prong collar, nothing different than a slip lead. Any tool that you use for a dog is an extension of communication. So the difference between this extension of communication, it gives you more range for communication. Besides having a leash and collar where you can communicate with the dog effectively by, pulling one way or pulling the other way, or yanking the leash one time to let the dog know that it's going the wrong way. These are all tools to be used for communication, because at the end of the day, these are dogs. And we don't speak dog. So we need things to communicate with our dogs in this society that has repercussions and consequences for animals like ours or our beloved dogs if they don't behave accordingly. So it's very and highly important for your safety, your dog's safety, and the safety of others for you to be able to effectively communicate with your dog at all times, at all places, especially when you're outside. The e-collar is an electronic remote device used to give your dog a low, mild, or high stimulation. This device is mainly used on hunting dogs, but also for regular house pets. It's important to also understand that the e-collar is a timing device. A lot of people get this device and think they're supposed to just vibrate the dog all day, and that's not what it's for. The device is to effectively communicate with the animal. So the timing needs to be impeccable. If you're not too confident with using the device, I do recommend you get a trainer, or look in the description box down below and look at how to effectively use an e-collar. The e-collar is your friend, but could also be your best friend when used correctly. Oftentimes what people forget is you're dealing with genetics. You're dealing with hundreds and thousands of years of genetic codings. Things that you can't untrain and undo in 15 years of a dog's life. I'm sorry. It just won't happen. These things are hardwired in the dog's brain. So you need something that will give your dog a line of communication with you no matter how far it goes, which is the e-collar. So what are the risks of not having it? So if I'm not able to effectively get my dog to come back to me when I really need it, there are serious consequences behind that. I could put another dog in danger. Unfortunately, I could put my dog in danger. My dog could actually go bite a dog. My dog could get bit by a dog. My dog could get hit by a car. My dog could get bit by another animal, or run into a situation or altercation with another animal if we're out in the woods. My dog could get trapped by coyotes. If you guys like to go in the woods like how I do, coyotes are very smart animals. If you have high prey-driven dog like mine who will run off after a coyote, best believe that coyote is setting your dog up to come back to the den to get eaten and slaughtered by all the other coyotes. It's just the animal world. I don't have any grudges against coyotes, but things like this do happen. I had an incident where a dog has ran up on another dog and hit the fence and grabbed the dog through the fence because of my lack of training and also my lack of line of communication. I wasn't able to communicate effectively to the dog. The dog's instincts kicked in, and there was no e-collar, there was no long leash, and then I paid the consequences for my dog biting this dog. So when I'm speaking to you guys, I'm speaking to you guys from experience, things that I lacked and things that I've done very well. I've done things very poorly, and I've done things very effectively at the same time too. There was times where I had a client who came to me with a situation where his dog actually killed another dog. His dog slipped out of the leash and ran up on another dog and killed the dog right in front of his owner. So he called me to see if I could help him with some training, but the damage was already done. It was already too late. I guess he wanted me to train his dog for the court date, so that because the dog had to appear in front of a judge, and he wanted to make sure that the dog was on his best behavior or whatever situation he had going on. I just felt like he called me at a time that was too late, and there wasn't much I could do for this dog at this point. Now, if he had one, better tools, maybe a better leash and collar, and then two, maybe an e-collar just in case things like this happens, then maybe he wouldn't be in this situation. But there's real consequences of having dogs. Dogs are not just, family members. Although we like to look at them as kids and our babies, they're not just that. They're canines. I mean, they're dogs. They're domesticated dogs that derive from wolves. They have fangs. They have claws. These are weapons if they're used as weapons, and can be very effective as weapons. So it's your job to be a reasonable and realistic. It's your job to be a reasonable and realistic owner, and do the best you can to put your dog in the best situations as possible.